How's it going, everybody? Man, I'm going to share with y'all a video of a man reading from this book that is a religious book, is a book based off the Holy Word, and it proves how when they translated the new so-called New Testament, the Gospels, into from originally it was Hebrew. They lied to us about that. They translated from Hebrew to Greek to Latin to English, and they took away some stuff, changed some stuff, and they actually changed scripture about the Last Supper. The Last Supper, when he says, take this wine and this is my blood, drink it. And then he says, eat this bread, it's my flesh, eat it. And they made it sound just like cannibalism. And the Father having his Son is not about that. He would not have used those words to describe anything in a sermon or scripture or anything. And I always had doubts about that. I always wondered why the heck would that be in scripture? Because the Father of Heaven ain't about that cannibalism stuff. But y'all watch this video and y'all will see that they have manipulated scripture by changing it into something else. Y'all want to know what it originally said? Watch this video to the end. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And don't forget, subscribe, man, for more content, man. I'm going to put some good stuff out here for us to see. Stuff that they don't show us in the churches, stuff they don't tell us on TV, the stuff that is hidden and forbidden. We bringing that stuff to light. Anyway, this is for entertainment purposes. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Shalom.
Okay, this is my last book that I'm going to bring out on y'all tonight. And this is the book called the Urantia book. Okay, Discovering the Mysteries of God, the Universe, World History, Jesus, and Ourselves. Or Yahweh Shai, rather. Now, I know a lot of y'all, because this is the actual book cover. Okay, see, it's a cover that I keep the book in. But this book, if a lot of y'all just saw it on the shelf, would you think to just pick it up and read it? Would you? Because there's nothing written on it. The only thing it said on the back is the Urantia book. You know, we see books and we don't know what's in that book, but we refuse to open that book to read it. And this is a book of scripture. Okay? Okay? Now, you know, hold on, let me turn the video around. Now, you know, you go into church, you taught by your pastors and all these folks that during the Last Supper, you know, they tell you that the wine is the blood and tell you that the little cracker or piece of bread they give you is supposed to be the body. Because, you know, they say, drink this wine, this is my blood, and eat this bread, this is my body. That's what they teach us, right? But in this book right here, where it's saying establishing the Remembrance Supper, it says something different. It says something different. Because the word tells us not to drink blood, and the word tells us we're supposed to eat people. We're supposed to eat human flesh, you know what I mean? No human flesh. So my thing is, if we don't supposed to do that, then why would he use that as a metaphor? You know what I mean? But anyways, again, this book, the Urantia, we're going to read this part right here. Okay? But I'm going to first read what he was talking about Judas. Okay? This is about Judas, what he said about Judas. This supper, hold on. Jesus, Yahushua now knew that nothing could be done to keep Judas from turning traitor. He started with 12, now he had 11. He chose 6 of these apostles, and through Judas was among those nominated by the first chosen apostles. Still the Master accepted him and had, up to this very hour, done everything possible to sanctify and save him, even as he had wrought for the peace and salvation of others. This supper, with its tender episode and softening touches, was Yahweh's last appeal to the deserting Judas, but it was of no avail. Warning, even when administered in the most tactful manner and conveyed in the most kindly spirit, as a rule only intensifies hatred and fires the evil determination to carry out to the full one's own selfish projects when love is once really dead. So in order for Judas to do what he did, the love was dead. there was no love. None. Okay? And Christ never did anything to Judas. Not Christ. Yahushua. We still getting out of that worldly name. Okay? Now it says establishing the remembrance supper. As they brought Jesus, Yahushua, the third cup of wine, the cup of blessings, he arose from the couch and taking the cup in his hands, blessed it, saying, "Take this cup, all of you, and drink of it. This shall be the cup of my remembrance. This is the cup of blessings of a new dispensation of grace and truth. This shall be to you the emblem of the bestowal and ministry of the divine spirit of truth. And I will not drink again of this cup with you until I drink in new form with you in the Father's eternal kingdom." Now, where does it say, drink this wine, this is my blood? It don't say that, right? Okay, now we're going to continue on. It say the apostles all sensed that something out of the ordinary was transpiring as they drank of this cup of blessing in profound reverence and perfect silence. The old Passover commemorated the emergence of their fathers from a state of racial slavery into individual freedom. Now the master was instituting a new remembrance supper as a symbol of the new disposition wherein the enslaved individual emerges from the bondage of ceremonialism and selfishness into the spiritual joy of the brotherhood and fellowship of the liberated faith sons of the living Elohim. When they had finished drinking this cup of remembrance, the master took up the bread and after giving thanks, broke it in pieces and directing them to pass it around, said, "Take this bread of remembrance and eat it. I have told you that I am the bread of life, and this bread of life is the united life of the Father and the Son in one gift. The word of the Father, as revealed in the Son, is indeed the bread of life." When they had partaken of the bread of remembrance, the symbol of the living word of truth incarnated in the likeness of immortal flesh, they all sat down. Now, nowhere in there do it say, "Drink this wine, this is my blood," or "Eat this bread, this is my body." Okay? And just to let you all see it for yourself, I'm going to, hold on. Okay, stop. Now, I'm going to let y'all read it for yourself right here, okay? This is establishing the remembrance supper, okay? Your pastor's been telling y'all false lies, okay? Now, again, this is in the Urantia book. Now, who would ever think that this book has scriptures in it? Yeah, they got scriptures in it. And like I say, this book has over 2,000 and I want to say close to 95 pages. 293, actually 2,097 pages. Okay, again, this is the Urantia book. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all see it. It's called the Urantia book. Okay, let y'all see a couple of pages. And if this book wasn't that of an importance, why they got it translated in all these different languages? They even got the Hebrew version. Yeah. So this is the book. Okay. And then it's broken down into writings. Okay. But they don't want us to learn about astrology. They don't want you looking at the stars. They don't want you doing all that. But yet, they do it. You see all this? All this is biblical stuff. Biblical literature. You see? So for those who like new knowledge or want to learn something new that's different from what the world been lying to you about, that's why we tell y'all to read the other books. Search. You know where it's written, say, asking it shall be given. Well, I ask to guide me the books. Okay? That's what I ask for. Guide me the books to where I can get knowledge. I might not be the best in breaking it down, but I got great understanding when I read it. And I can break it down in my own way. But it'll be according to what the words say. I'll tell you that much. I'm like Moses. Okay? Moses wasn't the greatest talker. That's why he had Aaron. Okay? But I just want y'all to see. And this just up to page 483. Okay? Grab that book. That's another book of knowledge right there. Okay? All right. Y'all have a wonderful night. As I prepare to get back out here on the highways. Hope y'all do well. Be blessed. All praise to the Most High. Seek knowledge. It's better than money. Trust me. Knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom is better than money.